Good evening, everybody. Thank you all for registering and attending this 7-day online faculty development program on outcome-based education (OBE). This is being organized by the Internal Quality Assurance Cell IQAC of St. James College of Nursing and St. James College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Chalakudy, in association with the Kerala State Higher Education Council, the 𝐾𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬 Dr. Sunil Job, and all the FTP resource persons, managers, directors, principals, vice principals, representatives from management, HODs, IQAC coordinators, and all faculty members. Now, about this FTP, uh, this is this is a 7-day FTP program with the timing of 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. This is actually our 5th day of the FTP. And in case if you are not able to attend any of the live sessions and were not able to attend the sessions, the recording is available in the LMS for the paid candidates. All the participants who have paid the processing fee will receive the LMS access, the video recording for all the days, and also the participation certificate. If any of you are yet to make the payment and would like to receive the LMS access, please make the payment of amount rupees 300 to St. James Hospital to the account details in the chat. I will shortly put it in the chat. LMS has hands-on activities that are to be completed along with the FTP. My name is 𝐬𝐴 I'm the Global Relations Manager with IPSR Solutions Limited, and I will be the event moderator. Now, coming on to today's session, today's topic will be assessment design and mapping of outcomes. This will be delivered by Dr. Sunil Job 𝐾𝐬, who is an adjunct faculty for Marian College, Kuttikkanam, Autonomous, and Chief of Academics, IPSR Solutions Limited. Dr. Sunil Job has 30 plus years of experience in teaching and 10 plus years in corporate consultancy. He holds a PhD in mathematical education and has been an associate professor at MG University. College of Teacher Education from 1999. He started his career as assistant professor at Marian College, Training College, Kollam. He has served as visiting team member NCTE for grant of recognition and as a resource person for the Affiliation Renewal Committee of MG University. He has served as resource person for a number of faculty development programs in outcome-based education, data science, e-learning, etc. Currently serving as an adjunct professor for Marian College, Kuttikkanam, Autonomous, and Chief of Academics, IPSR Solutions Limited. Over to you, Sunil sir.
So, thank you, Sajin, for the wonderful introduction.
Most welcome.
So this is our 5th day of our faculty development program, and from my part, I think it's the 3rd one. Actually, we had 2 sections earlier. So this will be our, as far as I'm concerned, it is the 3rd live sections that I'm interacting with you. So anyhow, I think that you had some very wonderful weekend, and as well as a very pleasant day and very quite comfortable to take some inputs on the assessment design and mapping of outcomes. So as I've told that all my sections which I've delivered to you have got some logical continuity, because we have started with the Bloom's taxonomy, because it's now I think you would have understood that to what extent that Bloom's taxonomy is helpful for you for designing a very appropriate curriculum in the lines of Bloom's taxonomy. And also we found that this Bloom's taxonomy to a greater extent a benchmarking to your outcome for writing a very good outcome. And also, obviously, when we go into the teaching learning process, which has been aligned with the outcome-based education, definitely the Bloom's taxonomy will give you a leading light to what all processes that you could incorporate into the teaching learning environment. Obviously, in this segment, we are not much going into the pedagogical aspect of outcome-based education, where you will be more involved in the different strategies that has to be adopted, and innovative practices, and also some best practices that could be adopted into the teaching learning environment to streamline your and these activities, or to engineer your teaching learning environment in the lines of outcome-based education. That obviously it's a very big area that you have to go into in order to give life to the campus environment to be aligned with the outcome-based education. And it's a quite fact that one most important thing that is evident in the teaching learning environment when we are designing a methodology or TPAC in the sense techno-pedagogical content into your teaching learning environment in the lines of outcome-based education. Definitely there is a constructive alignment which has been happening, because whatever activity that we involve in the lines of outcome-based education will be centered around outcome. As I've told in the first or second section, that everything that we take should start from the end point. So the end point will be put first, and we have to design our entire activities backwards so that we could traverse through the most comfortable path in order to the attainment of the outcome. That's what outcome-based education methodology also is going to say about. So actually the principle which has been involved in that methodology part is a constructive alignment, that is aligning the teaching learning processes as well as both the formative and assessment practices into the outcome. So here the outcome is the hero. So everything has to be customized in the lines of outcome. So even if you are giving a small assignment, or if you are giving a small activity, the first thing that should come to your mind is that what should be the outcome that you are looking for from this activity. That has to be showcased first. So that brings more precision and clarity to what you're doing. And on the basis of this outcome only, we are just setting out the different activities, or naming the problem for the project, whatever it may be. It should come from, it should evolve from the outcomes. That's it. That's what outcome-based education methodology to the very in a very short that I could say. But we in this segment we are not going into the pedagogical aspect, or the different good practices that we could involve in outcome-based education. Probably in the other two sections, in the Dr. Mentor's sections, he'll be mentioning about some good practices that could be incorporated into the teaching learning environment of an outcome-based education, which makes it very comfortable and smooth going in order for the attainment of the outcomes. This segment of, obviously we are just having a starting of the assessment scenario, because the second section that I have given you has gone through how we formulate a curriculum. That's why I've shown that what should be the building block of OB. It should begin from program educational outcome, and from that program educational outcome, PO and PSOs evolve from that. And our role in the teaching learning environment is to actualize that PO and PSO that we are showcasing for the program, and that is being attained by the different curricular activities, the different courses that we give along as a part of our curriculum. So that's how the formulation has to take place. And now in this segment, what we are going to do is that how assessment have to take place. I think you are remembering him from one of the slide which I presented in the second session of my that is presentations, that is on how to create a this that is building block of outcome-based education. There we found two arrows. That is one coming from top to down for that is the pathway that we go into for designing the curriculum, formulation of the outcome-based education. It should be designed down, from top to down, from PEO to the grassroots level. And for the assessment, the arrow should go up. That is, you are not directly going and assessing to what extent PO is attained. So it's a long process. So we are just attaining every fragments, like assignments, seminars, whatever thing that we do along as a part of the curricular activities. We'll be assigning the performance of the participants in the lines of outcomes, and we'll be calculating the COs first, and on the basis of COs only, we'll be calculating the POs. So the arrow will go from bottom to top. That's what which has been showcased in that architecture which I've shown, that building block of outcome-based education. So today we will be beginning with this assessment phase of outcome-based education, where I'll be setting the stage, where we'll be discussing more about what is the logic behind mapping, and I'll be just going into detail about the different levels of mapping which has been there in the outcome-based educational scenario, and the calculation part will be dealt by Dr. Mentus in the upcoming sections, where he'll be going through the outcome-based education, the CO calculations, and the different the stages that you have to traverse for a calculation of POs, and like direct, indirect assessments. All these things will be detailed by Dr. Mendes. So what I'll be trying to bring in this section is to give you an idea about the mapping. There are two levels of mapping. I'll be illustrating in my slides, which I'll be sharing it with you. So, and one more thing that I could assure you is that today's section will be one of the most smallest section of these, so you can be more relaxed. I will not be putting you up here up to 9 o'clock. I think definitely this will be a very short section. So yeah, I think you could enjoy it really. Let us go to the slide presentations. Let me share my slide. So I think we have some technical net issues. It's from a location from my home. So I think let me switch off and share the slide. As usual, I have got two questions: whether my slide is okay, and whether there is no issues with my audio.
Yes, your slide is visible.
And the audio is also comfortable. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I think everything is comfortable from my part, and if there is any issues, I think you could clear it from your part, or I think you can get the this sections available in live streaming in the YouTube also. So anything, if you face any connectivity issues or any problem with the sound or video, you can access in our live streaming section also, which is going parallel to this. So let me put into the presentation mode. So okay, so so for the beginning, I think it is always better to look into what we have for today's segment. So this will be the agenda for today's section. So the first thing will be structural design of PO, PSO, and CO. Obviously, when I say structural design, in my second section, I have just given you a formula for calculating, a formula for writing a outcome. That is, if you're going to teach a topic, how will you formulate an outcome? Obviously, the question that should come from you for writing that outcome is that what do you expect the students to perform or do on completion of that particular segment that you're going to teach? So obviously you'll be getting an answer, and you have to rephrase that answer into two components: one, a verb, as well as the learning statement. That's what the formula that I've given you for writing an outcome. And the second part is that we have tried to filter out. What are the competency set that is essential for these scholars for the attainment, for the actualization of the educational goals, and that we called it as graduate attributes. So so far we didn't write these graduate attribute into a form of an outcome statement. So the structural design of PO, PSOs, and COs are nothing but the verbal format of an outcome which comes at both the program level as well as the course level. The program level outcomes, we can call it as the general outcome, we call it as program outcomes, and the programs, the specific outcomes, we call it as program specific outcomes, and the course level outcomes, we call it as course outcomes. So, so here we will be just having 1 or 2 slides in order to give you a small references on how to write. Though for the these program outcomes, though it has been given from the part of the college, definitely we should know how this has to be formulated, because if you want to have a mapping of CO to PO, definitely the structural component of the PO is something very important if you want to have a very realistic mapping. So definitely that's important. And then we'll be discussing on the rationale behind the mapping weightage in OBE. So why mapping? What's the significance of mapping? So I'll be just giving you from a very small use case, a small instance. I'll be narrating it to you, and from that only we will be going into mapping. So you will be understand what is the real implication of that mapping. And then I'll be introducing you the standardized mapping scale, which we normally use in OBE. So in OBE there is a lot of flexibility, but the NBA as well as NAC has given you a standardized scale which could be adopted for mapping. So that also will be introducing it to you. And then the most important part, or the highlight of this part, is that determination of the mapping strength. I think there is a lot of confusion. It's been clouded around how we could map. Obviously, when you go to any of the presentation sections in the lines of OB, obviously most of the sections, what I have heard is that they normally say that if the mapping is strong, if the mapping is moderate, and if the mapping is weak, you can give 3, 2, 1. So what make the instance strong, what make the instance moderate, and what make the instance weak is not been justified and clarified in most of the sections that I've seen. So I think today you'll be getting an answer to all these ambiguities that is being clustered around what makes the mapping strong, what makes the mapping moderate, and what makes it weak. And it's a very important learning that you could get from this section. And obviously, all the types of mappings will be discussed here. That is a COPO mapping, and also mapping of words as giving it for this assessment. Then every question of test or exam will be mapped with this. So that is important. Not only that, this has norms that an examination, it means if you're giving an internal test, you have to map all the questions of that test with the respective GOs, and also you have to identify what is the level of learning according to Bloom's, and you have to showcase it with the question paper. So that this is the latest change that the NAC has been focusing. So these things has to be very clear. Otherwise, whatever you put in the form of the question paper, it will be circulated out, and if it is not right, then that will backfire you. So I think it is time for you to make some clarity regarding this. And also about the significance of program metrics. So it is the program metrics that gives you whether there is a need for adding an OB only course, some value-added courses for the programs. So that will be discussed there. So these are the agenda that we are going to have for today. So here we go with the structural design of PO, PSOs, and COs. So, okay. So this is about a structural design of a PO. So in the previous section, our section number 2, I have just given you a formula that is the formula for writing an outcome. So general formula for writing an outcome which I have given you is that the verb plus the learning statement. So if you want to write an outcome, a program outcome, the program outcome, the general attributes which has been related to the set of programs under a course, under a college. That is there we have got the general these program outcomes which have got the general attributes which we call as POs, and program specific outcomes are there. So for writing a general program outcome, the general outcome or the program outcome as such, how we will be able to write. So far we were considering the graduate attribute as a program outcome. Because in the previous presentations, we told that a number of program outcomes like communication skill, problem solving skills, the modern tool usage skills, all these are considered as the PO. So actually, these are the graduate attribute. This becomes a program outcome when you phrase this graduate attribute into an outcome statement. We can call it as a program outcome. So, so far the graduate attribute, which is the embryo of the program outcome, was considered as the program outcomes in our previous presentations. So now we are just trying to bring out how to frame a verbal statement, a outcome statement with a reference to these graduate attributes. So one of the most common graduate attributes which we were referring also when I asked about a question that is by giving the first educational goal and asked to suggest some of the important attribute which is necessary for the students to become to fix a career, then most of them you have given that communication skill. Obviously the communication skill is a very important graduate attribute. So how to write this communication skill into an outcome statement? So obviously, what is communication skill? Obviously, the communication skill include the ability of the student to read the content, then to write something. Either it is something related to his profession or career or personal life or official correspondence, whatever it may be. So ability to read, the ability to write, the ability to speak, the ability to comprehend some text which has been available related to any field, the ability to negotiate, the ability to communicate effectively using of medias. So all these comes under the umbrella of communication skill. So communication skill, though it's a single word, it is a combination of a multiple competencies or attributes. So every graduate attribute that you showcased in as the PO in the previous slide, they are nothing but a combination of a multiple attributes, or it's better multiple competencies that will constitute that particular attribute. So all these graduate attribute could be considered as a bunch of attributes or a bunch of characteristics constitute that particular the program outcome related to the communication skill. What I have written is that there should be a verb part. The verb that I have used is demonstrate. Demonstrate. Actually, demonstrate is an application level verb. It's an application level verb, right? So demonstrate what? The functional ability. And now I am factorizing communication skill into the different sub abilities. So that could be showcased with some in a broader way. There is no need to highlight some to showcase the different abilities into the outcome statement. So that's your skill. It's your way of writing. This is only my way of writing. I think you can have better way of writing the things. So demonstrate the functional ability to read. It's related to communication skill. To write, to speak, to comprehend, or you can include the vocabularies like that, comprehend and communicate effectively using modern medias. So what is that? This is the split up of the different attributes which constitute the communication skills, isn't it? Using modern medias for, and also I am mentioning the context there. What context in the previous slide? The learning and also the appraisal, the effectiveness of operation, this optimization techniques in the industry that taken in my previous presentation. So this is the context. So verb, the factorial design of the this graduate attribute, and also the context. These three combinations combined together forms the communication skill. So now it's very beautiful. Demonstrate the functional ability to read, write, speak, comprehend, and communicate, and in life situations. So I think that has given a very beautiful outcome statement. This is what communication skill actually mean. So a verbal, so far we have been mentioning communication skill as a PO. Actually, it's a PO. It's a graduate attribute when it is written in the form of this is the outcome that the student have to perform. So when it is written in the form of outcome, we call it as a program outcome. So that's what just a structural design of PO. So one more thing, modern tool usage. So what does modern tool usage? So here, upper level, that is second level, and then the micro outcomes at go pick outcomes. When you come to the granular level, it is always better to use single verbs. So otherwise, if you are using multiple verbs, try to use it from the same levels. Otherwise, it will be difficult. You will find difficulty when you go with mapping, right? So here I have used multiple verbs because there are normally questions whether to use multiple verbs. Obviously, for writing POs, you can use multiple verbs. Apply, use and operate, modern tools, techniques, and resources. So modern tools can be multiple modern tools. Then techniques can be multiple techniques, and the resources. So I have just used some common these verbs, a common nouns for these. I didn't list all the techniques, etc. So what are the different techniques you can showcase while we are mapping? So apply, use, and operate appropriate modern tools, techniques, and resources to various activities of life, career, and higher education. So this is the context with the knowledge of its limitation. So that is also we have showcased it. So this constitute a outcome. So I don't think that there is no need for writing a PO for every teacher, because PO will be constructed by the college level. But still, you should know how it is written. So it is a combination of a verb and graduate attributes fragmented into the different attributes and showcased and written in the form of an outcome, what the students are capable of doing. So the first part, you can see the verb, which identifies what is the level that this stands. Okay, so that you can write. Writing PSO. Obviously, the PSO are nothing but they are domain specific. They are related to the subject of your study. Suppose if this your subject, that will be the specific study. So the domain will be almost. If they are doing BSc mathematics, their domain will be mathematics. So the PSO will be domain specific. So it is in the previous POs, normally it is a good practice to restrict the POs to 8 to 12 or something like that. That will be a good number, optimal number. You can go more or less, but the optimal number is that. So while going with the PSOs, it is often said that you can restrict the PSOs to about 3 to 4 or 5, nothing more than that. I think 2 to 4, or some uses 2, 3, or 4. That is an ideal number. There is no need to go and write about 10 to comprehend. That is an ideal way of writing. So PO and PSOs together, when put together, could be about 10 to 15. That will be better. Otherwise, it is it will all these calculating all these PSOs, 25 or 30 PSOs. You have to get calculate all these PSOs for every students, and also you have to check whether these PSOs are redundant. It do not make any sense. So it is always better to restrict it. So for writing program specific outcomes, this is the formula: action, verb, program, the specific project, the specific graduate attribute related to the program. So that is it. So normally what I suggest is that this is something. This is something related to a PS related to a BCA program, the Bachelor of Computer Applications. So here, what I have suggested is that because the entire content, because PSOs are domain specific, the entire content related to that particular domain, that is.
Sunil sir, your voice is breaking. Sorry to interrupt, Sunil.
Okay, okay. Now is it
So
okay?
your yeah, it's just fluctuating. It's going low and it's breaking in between.
Okay, let me check it out.
Yeah, please.
Now how is it? How
It's
is
a
it now?
bit low. Yeah.
Is it okay now?
Could you make it louder? Could you increase the volume?
Yeah, yeah. I've increased the volume, and I think how is it now?
Yeah. Now it's getting better. Are you speaking now? Sunil sir, you're speaking now? Are you speaking, Sunil sir, now? We can't hear you. Sunil sir, are you speaking now? We can't hear you now.
Log out and come back. Hello.
Okay. Uh, Everybody, please wait for Sunil sir to just fix that audio glitch. I think he's connecting a new mic. He'll join in shortly.
I would like to check whether my sound is okay now.
Yeah, now it is better.
Now it's better. Okay, can we? So I will. Sorry for the interruptions. So then let me come back.
Yeah, this is a lot better. Yeah. Continue, sir.
Okay, let me share the screen. So sorry that I told that there is some connectivity issues. That's why I just stopped my video. Now I think it's okay. Both the screen and sound is okay.
Yes.
Okay. So once again, sorry for the interruptions. Okay. So going to the PSO, right? So the PSOs are really domain specific. Okay. Suppose if you are having a program in BCom. So the first statement which I've showcased, this is something related to a BCA program. So what I've showcased is that I want to take the entire learning of the that particular subject, I mean BCA, so that the students can apply it in their functional field. That's what the first CEO, the first PSO signifies. That is application level. Apply what? Because what is the sum and substances which is which constitute the core of BCA? That is what is being showcased here. Apply mathematical foundations, algebraic principles, the computer science theory and practices in relevant computing situations. So it has been very comfortably said. That is the entire curriculum which appears in this BCA program has to be taken to an application level, so that it could become it would have some utilitarian value, practical utility with that course. The second is that I want the students to attain some or higher level, that is design and develop softwares and programs with ethical concern. So that is another thing, a functional level, and also then they have to develop some higher order ability to design a system or to bug fix a system like that. When we say design, it is at a higher order. It will envelop all that thing. So that is another thing. And the third one is use new methodologies, operating systems, languages, and other software development tools within reasonable time. So this is something very important for BCA, because they have to keep abreast with the latest developments of technology, and they should be very rapid, that they should accommodate that and use it in their career space. That's something very important, because whatever is current today will be outdated within much delay. So that also is very important by understanding, but with the reasonable time constraints. So these are the some of the PSOs. This is something related to the this computer application. Likewise, for every subject, taking into consideration, every program taking into consideration of the domain requirement, you can customize that. You can customize the PSOs. So that is domain specific. And coming to the third one, that is we have completed PO, completed PSO, and the third one is course. That is course outcome. So that is obviously there are two ways of writing a course outcome. So normally when we go around the South Indian states, the normal practice that we could see is that it's customary that we used to write the course outcomes from a module wise pattern. Mostly every courses will be having about 4 or 5 modules will be there. So normally it is a practice of writing it in a module wise. That is the teachers could ask a question, take the content of the first module, and because with respect to your subject, definitely the highest resource person is the teacher itself. So they could ask them the question, what the students are capable of doing on completion of this particular module. Okay, so they'll be getting some comprehensive answers. So this answer you can rewrite in the form of what they could do
and the learning statement. This is how you can phrase about a course level outcome. So there are two ways. This is one way of writing. Take one module as such. You can ask the question, the answer that you get, you can phrase it in the form of an outcome. Sometimes if the content is big, you can write two outcomes from a module, whatever it may be. Or if the module has got a longitudinal design, that is the paper which I'm handling is operational research, because in every module of operational research we have got three things. One, how that model is formulation. If it is a transportation model, how to formulate a model. If it is a linear programming model, how to formulate a model. So every topic has got its own formulation is there. And after the model is formulated, we are going for the solutions. So all the topics have got the same pattern. And after solutions, we are validating it ethically, as well as according to its how its practicability and or with respect to ethics. So what we could do is that we can formulate it instead of going cross-sectional. We can go longitudinally across these modules. We can go, okay, formulation of the different variety of models in different contexts. We can go it and write it like that. So everything is left to the freedom of the teachers who are handling it. So how your courses will apply, you can decide your course outcomes. So in simple terms, how to write is that you can ask, on completing of this, what the students are capable of doing. Obviously you should think about that. So what makes him perfect? What is the intention of this course, and what this course is for? Because the course and curriculum is a tool to design or to equip the students' competencies in some way. So what is the end competency which is being expected from this course? That has to be showcased first. That's what we have to write. So here, simply, this is a simple course, the first course. That is introduction to computer, because at this don't think that at the first course, at the first module, taking the students to a create level, it's not possible. So think about the possibility of each course and write the outcome accordingly. So don't write to the first course, the first class, trying to take that outcome at a create levels. Practically it's not logical. So you have to get into the topic and what is the possibility of the topic, the highest possible thing that is possible, that could be done by the topic should be showcased as an outcome. So here, identify the parts of the computer system. So this is only the introduction part. So the student should be able to understand what are the different components, like what, explain its functioning, etc., etc., etc. This is how we can write. So normally at this point of time, and the normal question that comes often arises is that what is the ideal number? But it all depends upon your topic. It all depends upon the topic, but normally it will be better to restrict it to 5 to 6 or 7 outcomes. It's written 4 to 6. So 5 to 6 is ideal. So that is the number of outcomes. Otherwise, we should have the ability to comprehend and write it in a comprehensive way. Otherwise, if you are sitting and writing about 10 to 20 course outcome for a course, then definitely that will be very hectic. You have to calculate all these 20 CEOs for every students and map all these CEOs to POs and make a lot of mess out of it. So normally it is always a better practice to take the outcome in a comprehensive scale and showcase it. That's something very good. So that's about the structural design of PO, PSOs and COs. So that's how you have to write it. So I think now that's clear. So now we are going into the next segment, that is how to calculate this attainment, the course level attainment and PO level attainment. So what I am doing will be the first level, that is taking you through the mapping and the relevant things, and Dr. Mentis will be taking you to the end point. So this is how we'll be taking you to the assessment designs of these outcomes. So to begin with, I have just to set the stage for mapping, I have just given you a small use case. So now it's the time for you to answer this one. Let me, where is the chat? I will be just checking out the chat. You can read it. This is a small scenario. In a grading system, suppose that homework count 10%. There are 3 items taken for grading, isn't it? There are 3, according to the criteria, according to the scheme of valuation, there are 3 items which is taken for grading. One, the score that the student get for homework. The second, the score that the student get for quiz. And third, the score that the student get for test. These are the 3 components which is been taken for the grading purpose. And it is said that what is the criteria? 10% mark is taken from what? Homework. 20% marks is taken from quiz. And 70% marks is taken from test. So this is what is the criteria that is set for grading. Okay. So that's the criteria set. Now the John is a candidate who have taken the test. The John has an homework grade of 92. He scored 92, obviously. That's good. And a quiz grade of 68. That's the mark that he got for quiz. And for the final test, he got it 81. So what is the combined grade of John? So this is what you have to calculate. Okay, some answers are coming. Very good. I am very happy. Because what is normally happening there? 10% mark has been pulled from the marks he scored for homework. 20% has been pulled for the mark that he got for quiz. And 70% has been pulled for the mark that he has got for the marks that he has got for the final examinations. So the final grade, as it has been pointed out here, it is given that 79.5. Okay, so let me check it out whether I also got the same thing. So this was the scenario, right? This is the combined grade. This is the combined grade that I am looking for. For this combined grade is connected with 3 activities: homework, quiz, and test, right? The homework has got only a very low contribution for what combined grade. It is very feebly connected. Quiz has got about a little more higher than what homework. It takes 20%. And test 70%. So I am pulling out 10% from the homework level attainment, 20% from quiz level attainment, and 70% from what? Test level attainment. So what I've got is that the combined grade is 79.5. 79.5. So what is this? This is nothing but the weighted average. That is, this is the weight, 10 into 92 plus 20 into 68 plus 70 into 81 divided by 10 plus 20 plus 70. Weighted average. If you know this, then definitely the calculation part of outcome is complete. This is what has been happening in the computation of the outcome. Calculation part of the outcome. So now let us check it out once again. So we know that the overall grade is the weighted average of the grade scores of the components. So here, instead of this combined grade, this is the final grade that I have to calculate. Now you just translate that scenario into an outcome based. The final assessment should be calculated in terms of POs and PSOs. So just like combined grade, the final assessment should be calculated in terms of POs and PSOs. That's the final assessment. And how it is calculated? So just like this is not calculated directly. It is calculated by homework, quiz, and test. Likewise, in an OB topology, the POs are not directly calculated. It is calculated by the attainment of the different course outcomes connected to the PO. So here, instead of this combined grade, it will be PO. And here it is, instead of homework, it will be CO1, CO2, CO3, the different COs connected to this PO. So first thing what you have to do, you have to calculate the CO level attainment, like homework level attainment, quiz level attainment, test level attainment. The first thing that you have to calculate is that is the CO level attainment has to be calculated. And this CO, this activity has only is feebly connected with this. That is only 10% weightage, 20% weightage. This is strongly addressing. So this weightage, so the CO, to what extent the CO address this PO gives the weightage. This is what we have to do in and OBE scenario. So what it comes is that this was the scenario. The combined grade is calculated by the performance in homework, quiz, and test, because the homework is connected to this combined grade, quiz is connected, and test is connected. And when I am translating the same thing into an OB scenario. Instead of the combined grade, it is PO. That is the top level. That finally the students' assessment has been calculated. In the previous slide, I've shown that. Okay, what is the score level for communication skill? What is the score level for use of modern tool usage? What is the score level for problem solving? That is the PO. That is the level. That is what we have to calculate. And it is calculated by different activities related to this one. So that is CO1, CO2, and CO3. So our previous combined grade scenario come like this: PO, then instead of homework, quiz, and test, CO1, CO2, CO3, the weightage, this one. Okay. So what will be the PO level attainment? Weighted average, 10 into 92, 20 into 68. So some standardization should be brought about in this weightage, and standardization should be brought about in this achievement, which could be made possible by a scale, which I will be introducing you in the later slides. So the same thing, we will be converting it into what? Into by means of the standard scale. And so by that, you will be clear how this is to be calculated. So now taking that entire scenario, obviously just bring into your mind that the OB topology, that is the building block of OB, that the house-like structure that you have seen in the previous segment. So at the topmost level, what you have to fix first? Program educational objective. That comes first in the scenario, right? PEO, that is the program educational objective. That is the educational goals. And under this PEO, there will be about 10 to 12 PEO and 3 to 4 PSOs. That is the scenario of an outcome-based education. And finally, you have to calculate the final assessment is that how much is the all these PO level attainment and PSO level attainment. That is PO1 attainment, what is its level, PO2 likewise, we have to calculate this. And this is not calculated directly, it is calculated from the different COs which is related to the course, which is related to the program, right? That is what I've shown in the previous question. The PO1 is calculated by the attainment of CO1, CO2, CO3, etc. Okay, that is the scenario. A small slice has been taken and shown to you. So obviously, if you take the entire program, probably there will be about 10 to 12 PO and 3 to 4 PSOs will be there. And how many COs will be there? Suppose if one course is having 5 CO. First semester, there are 5 courses. So obviously 5 into 5, 25 COs will be there. Okay, so total, if it is a 3-year program, there will be 6 semesters. So 30 into 6, about 150 COs will be there at the second level. So in the after the first semester, obviously 5 courses will be there. So 25 COs will be calculated. Second semester, 25 COs will be calculated like that. After the end of the program, all the COs will be calculated. And after calculating all these COs, we have to ascertain that the every COs will be connected to either 2 or 3 POs and PSOs. Obviously, it is not mandatory that each CO connected to every PO and PSO. Not necessary. That is, sometimes a CO will be connected to 2 POs or 3 POs and few PSOs. So likewise, we have to ascertain, if you take a PO number 1, what are the COs which has been connected with that PO number 1? And the attainment of that COs will calculate this PO. So for this, we have to make to what extent, to what strength that each PO, each CO is been addressing PO. That is what the mapping signifies. Like the scenario before, the combined grade, to what strength homework is been addressing combined grade. It is at 10%, 20%, 30%. So to what extent each CO is addressing the respective POs. That's what you have to identify at this level. So after knowing the attainment of CO, you'll be able to calculate the attainment of PO, PSO. But how to calculate the COs? So these COs are course level. So these COs are calculated by the activities that you give to the students with respect to each course. The activity can be an assignment, it can be a project, it can be an industrial visit, or it can be a internal examination, it can be an external examinations. You can give a multiple level of activities for the assessment of the COs. So at the bottom level, there will be a multiple level of activities. The multiple level of activities, that is topic learning outcomes, that is you can just take it in this way. The multiple level of activities comes at this level. Okay. So what we have to do is that we have got two levels here. One, PO, the second level, PSOs. PO and PSO at the top level. The second level, the COs related to the entire courses of the program. And the third level, the different activities that you give as a part of the course. So we got first level, second level, and third level. So here, if you want to calculate PO and PSOs, you have to map each CO to the respective PO and PSOs with its mapping string, which will be discussed in the upcoming slides. So this is level 1 mapping. And if you want to calculate all the COs, we have to map all the activity that you use for assessment for these COs has to be mapped to its corresponding COs with their respective strength. That is level 2 mapping. So the most important activity common to all will be test. Isn't it? A test, if you're conducting a test, if the test has got 10 questions, all the 10 questions should be mapped to the respective COs with its strength. Suppose if you're giving an assignment, then assignment should be mapped to the respective COs with its strength. If you're giving a project, then project should be mapped with the respective COs with its strength. So here are the test, exam, project, assignment, seminars. So on the basis of the performance, we'll be calculating all the COs. And the basis of the performance of COs will be calculating PO and PSOs. So that is how the calculation should work about. So this is the descriptive thing. That is, the final assessment is done by the estimation of program outcome and program specific outcome. That is the top level. That is has to be estimated. And PO and PSOs are estimated from the component COs. That is what the second level. If you calculate the entire COs of the second level only, we can calculate the entire PO and PSOs. And entire POs, COs will be calculated only through the different activities that we give as a part of the programs. So there are two levels of mapping. And this is the standardized scale that we use for OBE. Obviously, you will be familiar with this. This is the scale which has been given by NBA for engineering, as well as the NAC also has been advising to adopt this scale. And also it has given flexibility that if you want some little more granular, then okay, you can go with this. Here it is only giving 3 scales. That is, if the relationship is very strong, significant, 3, moderate, 2, low, 1, and nil, 0. So we have just mentioned one scenario, right? What is this? The strength of the relationship and percentage of attainment. I will just show it in the example which I've shown it before. I think, are you remembering this? The combined grade converted into PO, isn't it? 10% marks is taken from homework. Homework I converted into CO1. This quiz I converted into CO2. And test I have converted into CO3, and this is the weightage, right? And this is the marks he got for homework, which I presume that it is been CO1, CO2, etc., etc. Okay, let it be like this. And the CO level attainment is the weighted average, 10 into 92 plus 20 into 68 plus 70 into 81 divided by 10 plus 20 plus 70. So don't there is this is what we have just taken from the previous slide only. I just put it here. Just I want to show this. What is this? Here the weightage, because here the CO3 is very strongly addressing PO. That is why we have given to 70%, isn't it? The test we have given 70%. This one was for the quiz 20%. So this is very feebly addressing, right? This is very feebly addressing. This is moderately addressing, and this is strongly addressing. So what can you give? If it is significant, strongly, you can give a weightage of 3. So this 70 could be standardized into something we could say as strongly addressing 3, weightage 3. This is moderate, so we can give 2. This is feeble, so we can give 1. So we can standardizing this weightage into strong, moderate, and weak. Strong, we give 3. Moderate, we give 2. And weak, we give 1. So now the question which is there in the mind, which I could read, is that what makes it strong, what makes it moderate, and what makes it weak. This will be answered in the upcoming slides. Don't worry now. And what is the percentage attainment here? 92. And what is the 92 here? If it is 0, okay. If the total score is 0, okay, it's there is no attainment is there. If it is between 1 and 50%, you can give it as low. If it is 51 to 70, you can give it as weightage 2. And if it is 71 to 100, you can give 3. So what will you give for this one? 92. It is something between 71 and 100. So you can give a weightage 3 here. What is this? 68. It is something moderate, 51 to 70. So you can give something related to 2 here. And here it is strong. So you can give 3. So the same thing can be rewritten as this is 1, 2, and 3, 3, 2, and 3. So I am going to rewrite it like this: 1, 2, and 3, 3, 2, and 1. And what is the combined grade? 1 into 3 plus 2 into 4, 2 into 2 plus 3 into 3 divided by sum of the weightage, that is 2.61. This is the attainment. This is what you found it in the scale in the previous one. So this is the logic. This is the logic behind. But there are a lot of things that has to be added, like direct assessment, indirect assessment. A lot of things will be there, which will be detailed by Dr. Mendes. Just I have shown you how the logic behind these assessments, how mapping is defined, how mapping is standardized on the basis of this scale. This relationship, strong, weak, and moderate, could be shown as 3, 2, and 1. And the percentage of attainment, that is, what is the percentage of attainment with respect to each question, could be converted, could be standardized in this way. So this is how the calculation should go ahead. So okay, so tomorrow I think when Mendes goes with more and more thing, and also he will be introducing to you because manually calculating will be practically very Herculean because we have to spend more time with the teaching learning environment. So all these things could be done with some automated methods which you can choose. So now I told you that this one, how we can put 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. If it is significant, 3. If it is moderate, 2. And if it is low, how can we put it here? This is what we are going to make it in this slide. So if you are remembering that topology, which I have shown you here, let me go back. If I remember this topology, there are level 2 mapping. Level 2 mapping is what? Level 2 mapping is mapping of the different test items or assignments or seminars to the respective COs. And level 1 is CO mapping with respect to POs. That is what which has been shown, which will be shown over here. So this is something related to level 2 mapping. Level 2 mapping. So now, what is this? You can consider this as a CO, because a CO has got 2 components. Because every CO there will be an action verb. What does that action verb signifies? To what level that you are going to take the students in the learning ladder. Suppose whether if you are taking it to an application level, it is at a K3 level. If you are taking the student a little more higher, it will be at a K4 level. So every course outcome will be having a verb part as well as it will be having a domain part. Domain part is the topic that is included in that course. If it is module 1, the topic related to the module 1 and the level to which you are going to take the students. This is the structural format of the outcome. And the question is also having the same format, because the question also you can have an action verb and a learning statement. Because in the first section, we are just categorizing the question on the basis of what? Bloom's level. Okay, so here the action verb is being indicated from Bloom. So Benjamin Bloom will make this action verb a little more realistic, and it will showcase or benchmark what is the level of learning that you are trying to take the students, and what is the level of questions that you are asking. So both this will have the same format. And what I would like to say is that an outcome is a glorified question, the highest level question. That is, and why you are asking a question? Just to ensure what the learning has happened. What is the status of learning? And that status of learning you're showcasing at the initial state as an outcome. So both of them will have a similar structure in terms of a verb. We showcase to what level that learning outcome means, what level the student has to be taken, and the question is that the question also will be assessing the level of the students. Okay. So now this is an outcome, and this is a suppose this is a scenario related to a test. So if you are giving a test as an assessment tool, then every question of the test should be mapped onto the respective COs. Okay, so here in this slide, we are going to do that. So what is the first thing that you have to check? Whether the topic related to the question. Every question will have some learning statement, right? A learning statement will be there. Whether that learning statement is related to the learning domain of that outcome. If it is connected. If this question is, if this learning statement is from this course learning domain of this outcome, then definitely this question is addressing this course outcome. Now the question is that to what level that this this question is being mapped, what is the strength of the mapping of this question to this outcome? And it is this scenario that is the Bloom's taxonomy comes for help at this scenario. So for this, let me say that if the course outcome is at an application level thing, means it's a K3. And if the question that you ask is some question related to this learning domain, but you are asking a definition. So what is that? It will be K1. So you are going to access what K3, and the question is K1. So K1 is much lower than that of the CO, isn't it? Much lower. So you can say that it is very low. Suppose if the question is at an understanding level and your outcome is at a application level K3, then we can say that it is not as low as K1. It is little more better, but not has come to this level. So what can you say? The mapping is moderate. And if the question is of the same level of that of what the outcome, then we can say that okay, both of them are barabar. That is, the question is at an outcome application level, the outcome is alpha. So both of them are very strongly correlating, very strongly addressing. So you can say that it is 3. So that is how we can give a systematic answer to this addressing. Now, obviously, your question is that obviously, okay, if it is K3, that's fine. If it is K3, K1, K2, K3 is there. If this outcome is K5, then how can we trice it? So that is why I have given you that scale. In the scale, it is written from 1 to 50 feeble, from 51 to 70 moderate, and from 71 to 100 high. So what you can do? What is the level of question? What is the level of question? If this is a K5, the level of question is an understanding level question, that is K2. So what can you you can write the level of question 2, the level of outcome 5. I repeat, the level of question 2, the level of outcome 5. 2 divided by 5 into 100. 2 divided by 5 into 100. What does it give? 40%. And 40% corresponding to the scale. From 0 to 50, it is weak. From 51 to 70, moderate. From 71 to 100, it is strong. So you can say that if the question is at a K5 level, and if the outcome is at a K5 level and the question is at a K2 level, 2 divided by 5 into 100 is 40%. You can say it is weak. If the question is at an application level, 3 divided by 5 into 100, 60, moderate. So likewise, you will be able to write it. It is as simple as this. So it's now you have got a very clear cut idea on how to keep a mapping going. So now I have got a question to you. All the questions we will take at the final stage. Otherwise, we will go DVT because I think today I'll be finishing it little early so that we can have some discussions at it. What mapping strength could it give to situation? I'm going to give you situations because we were discussing on Bloom's taxonomy common. We were discussing on Bloom's taxonomy. So no worries. This is the actually if in my class of Bloom's taxonomy, my intention is that I want you to apply the Bloom's taxonomy in framing questions. That was my outcome. Apply Bloom's taxonomy in framing question. That was the outcome which I have been showcased in my class. Suppose you think. So before starting the class, I have showcased that the outcome of that class should be apply the Bloom's taxonomy in framing questions. That is the outcome that I fixed for that class. Okay, that's the. And for ascertaining that whether that outcome is met, I am giving you an assessment question. So this is the outcome. This is the outcome. The action, verb, and outcome, Bloom's taxonomy. And this is the question that I've asked. So what is the level of this this question mapped onto this outcome? You can put it in chat. So this outcome, apply the Bloom's taxonomy in framing question is what? Apply Bloom's taxonomy in framing question is what? K3. Explain the different levels of cognitive domain is understanding question. That is K2. K2. So what is the level of? So this is connected because both of them have got a common thing as Bloom's taxonomy. They're connected. So what is the strength of connection? 66.6 means what? According to our scale, 0 to 50, weak. From 51 to 70, moderate. And 71 to 100, high. So what is the strength of mapping? What is the strength of mapping? Moderate. Dr. Jairam has very beautifully rightly said 2. Very good. Isn't it? 66 means moderate. Moderate means we are giving a mapping strength of 2. Isn't it? Moderate, right? And instead of writing moderate, what is the mapping strength that we give for that? It is 2. For calculating, we want it in numerical value. So this one, the outcome is at a K3 level. The question is at a K2 level. So the mapping strength is moderate. And since it is moderate, I'll be giving it as 2. Very good. So now I'm going to give another question. So this do not change. Outcome is this one. And the question is this. So what is the mapping strength? Okay, please. What is the mapping strength? Using Bloom's taxonomy, prepare an application level question in your subject. What is the mapping strength? Both of them is related to Bloom's taxonomy, so there is connection. What is the level of this? What is the level of this? K3. And what is this? Using Bloom's taxonomy, prepare. Using Bloom's taxonomy, prepare a question. So you are applying Bloom's taxonomy to prepare a question. So what is the level of the question? What is the level of the question? Apply. Application level of the question. So both the outcome and the question is of same level. So they are strongly addressing. Both this question is at the application level. The outcome also is at the application level. So they are very strongly addressing. So what is the strength of the mapping? It is 3. So this is how the mapping strength is being identified. So this is how the mapping strength is being identified. Suppose if this is a question paper, this is the question paper. And let me see that CO1, CO2, CO3, CO4, CO5. There I got 5 COs are there, and you have got some 15 questions. You can just assume that all these COs are at an application level. Just hypothetical thing. And this first question is from first module. So we have adopted that technique. What is the technique? The first, there are got 5 modules are there, right? The first CO is from first module. Second CO from second module. and all of them are at an application level. Just think of that scenario. I am putting one question from what? From module 1. When I say explain what is the level, the verb, that is the importance of Bloom's taxonomy. The verb will signify the level. Explain something. So this is an understanding level question, right? This is an understanding level question, and this is an application level question. So what is this? So this is application K3, and this is understanding K2. So this is only moderately addressing this one. That is true. This question, what are I didn't write because all of you are from different domains. So that's why I just this is an application level. This is from second unit, isn't it? Second module. So second module, so it will be related to CO2. Okay. So this is an application level. CO is application level. The question is only define. Define is at the understanding level, not understanding. Memory level, isn't it? Remembering level. So that is K1. So this is only weakly addressing it. That is why. This is from fourth chapter, fourth module. So obviously it is connected to CO4. So this has got the advantage. If you're taking one module, formulating an outcome, if the question is from that module, obviously it will be connected. And the only matter is that you can just compare the level of these question and outcome in the frame of Bloom's taxonomy, and you can write the story. So here application, and here list. List is a remembering level. So this is how very easily you will be able to identify. Every questions could be connected to the respective COs, and the strength could be identified in the terms of to what extent that they are addressing. And what is the other thing that which is included? Okay, the term 1 and term 2 examination. I didn't write it here because I've shown how to write it, because the term 1 question, it is from CO1 and CO2. So all the questions for the term 1 will be related to only CO1 and CO2. Term 2 will be related to CO3, CO4, CO5. So all the questions will be just like in the previous slide which I've shown. Instead of 5, there will be CO1, CO2, CO1, CO2 for the term 1, and instead of for term 2, there will be CO3, CO4, CO5. The questions will be mapped like that. And for the final examination, all the COs will be there. So this is not considered now because we have mapped there, and how the mapping is done, we have done. And for the other activities, for assignment, we are giving assignment connecting CO1 and CO2. First 2 modules and assignment. And related to the content of the assignment, this span completely the second module and only about 3/4 of the first module. If the assignment spans like that, spans the CO like that, okay, then you can give a weightage 2, 3, and 2 like this. So the project covering the 3 modules, the project related to that. So you can estimate to what extent that this project is spanning the CO1 like that. On this you can. So these activities could be given in that way, in such a way that to what extent that activity spans the course outcome. So it could be done in that way. So this is how you can consider the mapping of the level 2 mapping. The level 2 mapping could be a test to the respective COs, exam to the respective COs, or the different activities that you give to the respective COs. That is how you can do the mapping. And this one is what level 1 mapping. Okay, for the level 1 mapping, obviously this is you have to map the different COs to the POs. COs to the POs. And how you can do it, the COs to the POs? How can you map these COs to the POs? In the first slide, I've shown you that every PO is a bunch of attributes or competencies, right? If you take the communication skill, you can factorize the communication skill into about 5 to 10 sub competencies. That will constitute what? Communication skill. Or the modern tool usage, that is the different techniques, tools, etc. You can able to list out the important techniques or the different category of techniques or tools like that. You will be able to showcase it and put it in that form. So what you have to do is that for every PO, we able to we have to divide that PO structurally into the multiple sub competencies, the sub attributes which is related to the CO. That's what first thing that you have to do. So there are two ways of mapping. This is the most effective way, which has been suggested by NBA, because the other are at the infancy stage. The NBA is something, NBA is something which has gone much advanced. So factorize the POs with respect to the different competencies. So the first thing that you have to do is that we have to just understand the different possibilities of that PO, not just a single word. The PO, what does it mean? What is the problem solving skills, or what is creative, the creativity related to this, or what is social accountability, or what is environmental consciousness. You can list out the different sub attributes related to that particular POs, and then you can take one CO. Every CO, you can take each CO and check it with respect to each PO. That is how much number of sub competencies this CO addresses. That is what you have to check it out. So if this suppose if this PO1 has got 10 sub competencies, and if the CO is been addressing, three of them. So what is the percentage of competencies that the CO addresses this? So total 10, and this CO is been addressing 3 of these competencies. 3 of these competencies has been covered in the CO. That means 30%. And what is this 30%? 30% means if it is more than 40%, you can give, because this is POs are very broad. So if a CO spans more than 40% of the competencies related to the CO, this PO we can give high. If the CO spans between 25 to 5%, not 25 to 40%. If it is 40% and more, 3. If it is 25 to 40%, you can give. If it is between 5 to 25%, you can give 1. Anything less than 5, because every PO will be having some sort of addressing. If it is less than 5, very feeble, you can just leave it off. That's not sufficient to make that PO. So this is one of the scales which is been normally adopted by NBA. That is factor analysis of this PO, and take each CO, and you can just check each CO with the different sub competencies, how much these competencies are being addressed, whether these competencies are addressed. If it is more than 40%, you can give high. If it is between like this. And there is another way which is not that much effective, because taking into consideration of how much time that this CO is being that is with respect to that particular course, what percentage of the time is been spent for actualizing of the CO. So on that basis of that, you can have the same. If it is 40% more time, you can give high. If it is between 25 to 40%, you can give 2. But that is not realistic. That could be only obtained only after taking the class. Only you will be able to know how much time you have spent for the CO. So you should have some prior knowledge how much time will be taken for actualization of the PO, and on the basis of the proportion of time, more time than strongly addressing. And I think it is more better to have a factor analysis of the PO and check to how much the number of these sub competencies related to the PO that these COs are addressing. So on the basis of that number, if it is, that's what the example that I've told. If we have got about 10 sub competencies related to one PO, for example, this what I could say, a communication skill, reading, writing, vocabulary. Likewise, you can have about 10, and you can check one CO and find how many COs that it spans. Suppose it spans about 3. So out of 10, 3 sub competencies is been addressed. So 30%. If it is 30%, 2. If it is 4, okay, 40%. So 40% and above, you can give 3. So this is how you can have. So this is something for this. If you want to have a mapping, you should have a clarity, because that's what I've told in the first instance, that OBE is all about bringing clarity to the environment. So if we just list out PO, that will not bring any clarity. bring clarity. What does that PO signifies? So if the students want to attain that PO, what are the competencies, sub-competencies that the student should have? That is what has been factorized like this, because the POs are the bunch of sub-competencies or attributes. And what are sub-attributes that each CEO addresses the number? Then on the basis of that, you can give the weightage. Because normally I have seen that there's some common practice that just for the sake of mapping, just putting some 1 and 2 like that. It do not make any sense. That's what I told, that after calculating all POs and PSOs, definitely that will not give you a realistic picture. And if you are publishing it without authentic that is validations, then definitely that will backfire. So this will take some time to evolve in the right way, but this is how it should be done. And here, this is the mapping grid that you should create. So this is for one course. As we are told that we have got 9 these POs, general attribute. So each this is one course. This is one course. CO 101, the first course. Let it be the introduction to the computer, and it has got 5 COs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is CO1. That is CO 101. That is the course code .1. So the first CEO of this course code, second CEO of the course code, like that 5 COs. And this CEO, the first CEO, is been related to 3 of the POs. So what is the strength by which it has been connected? So the first one is connected at 2, 2, and 1. What make it 2? Because it has been spanning what? About 20 to 40% competencies it has been spanning. This has been spanning less than that is 15% of competence in more than 5. So others, it is only less than 5. So they are not connected. So likewise, each CEO should be connected like this. And similarly, what you have to do here, similarly, the first course, first CEO, whether it is related to the different PSOs, So that so normally we could say that all these course specific outcomes will have a very strong relation with the PSOs, because they are subject specific. Normally we get little that is addressing from to the PO, because they are general attribute common to all the programs. This is program specific. So definitely you can have a very good metrics over here. This is only demo that I've taken. So don't look at it. You will be having a very comfortable, fully addressed and very high level mappings over here. So by the end, that is only one course which I've shown. So when you're designing a course, you have to showcase the entire program. So entire program, probably as I've told, that if the first semester has got 5 courses, the second semester 5 courses, and if it is a 3-year program, there will be 3-year program. There will be 6 semesters will be there, and 6 into 5 will be the number of courses will be there. So likewise, we'll be having about 150 ZOs will be there. That is first course 5 for first semester 5 into 5, 25. Those for 6 semesters, 25 into 6, 150 COs will be there. Like, so you can list all the COs as a program matrix. The program matrix is a consolidated grid of the entire COs of the program showcased in one format, where you showcases the entire probably 150 or more, probably 150 and 200 will be there. So all the COs related to the course, laboratory works, all the things should be showcased here. And POs, there are 9 common, that is common attributes, and there are 4 program specific, everything related, and you can create a matrix like this. So now the question is that why we are creating this one. So normally, according to the outcome-based education, all the students should take the respective outcomes as well as the POs. So if some of the POs are not sufficiently addressed, then definitely that PO level competencies will not be particularly met, because you are not given that much of activities in order to evaluate that particular POs. So definitely that particular POs will be weekly met only. So what you have to do is that we have to give some additional activities. So probably those activities may not be there in the curriculum, in the academical program. So this is OBE only activity could be introduced just for the sake of improving the competencies related to those POs which is not sufficiently addressed. So normally at the institutional level, you can fix a threshold like that. That is minimum, they should be at least about 15 to 20 or 50, likewise 15 to 20 COs addressed to a PO. So likewise, 1, 2, 3, you have to count about out of 150 COs, at least 15 or 20 COs should be addressing each PO, so that you can make it something like threshold. So that is institutional. So if any of the POs is having feebly addressed, means less than threshold number, then definitely you can create additional activities so that these POs are sufficiently addressed. So that is how we can create what non-course activity. We can create non-course activities. So the non-course activities are the activities which are not really there in the curriculum part, but we have included it into the program in order to bridge the gap between those POs which is not sufficiently addressed. So you can have a number of activities which could be distributed among the different courses. It's not necessary that at the end of the last course you can distribute it. If this program matrix could be constructed at the initial stage, so you can distribute the different programs at different semesters and give it as a non-course activity, so that it will nourish that particular POs which is not sufficiently addressed. So that's all we can do. So now I would like to give you small detail on the task which we have to do for that. As I told that obviously this LMS will give you a lot of opportunity for you to have the real learning, because here you are only listener only. So this part also will be available there. Obviously there can be some because the internet connectivity issues will be there. That's one of the problem of online sections. But if you have some, if you had something like that, these videos will be available in the LMS. You can just there's no need to hear from the very beginning, because this is something 1.5 to 2 hours long. You will feel it boring. So definitely you can just go speed it. Go to the section where you missed, and then you can rewind that, and you can check it out, the omissions, so that you can make up the part that you have left out. So that will be of greater advantage. Don't go and see the entire thing again and again. There's you will feel bored. Definitely you can take that particular part which you have missed and check it out. It is there in the LMS. And also there will be a lot of activities, and even that CO computing engine, a very nano engine is being introduced for you to, because anyhow, if you want to spend for implementing the OB in the right way, you cannot spend more time for calculations like that. So obviously some automated system will be always be helpful for you, so that you can put a lot of your thoughts and activities into that essential thing, that is designing that teaching learning environment and making the things productive, streamlining the students in by different good innovative practices, techno-pedagogical content in the lines of OB like that. So not to give more and more access on measurement part, calculation part, that could be automated. You can adopt your technological team to build some system, or you can procure something. If there is a third-party tool, you can get it and use it. That will be more better. So this is the small task which is related to 3, which is there in that. You can download this file there. It is just a simple tool. That is obviously you will be having different outcomes, right? You'll be having, because you will be obviously you will be having the course that you're handling. That course you can write the first outcome. Probably it may be related to the first module. You can write the first outcome. Then you can prepare a remembering level question. So it has got 2 intentions. One, to prepare a remembering level question, to prepare a question related to each level. The second time practice is there for year. These things should be made clear. So write that outcome. So whatever be the level of the outcome, prepare a remembering level question and try to find the mapping strength. Okay, so understanding, etc. And if the obviously if the outcome is at a lower level, definitely the question may not exceed that one. That is of no meaning, because you are trying to take the students to an understanding level, and you are asking a question at an application level, that do not find. And if in any case that happens, definitely you can give strongly addressing. Suppose if by mistake you are giving a higher order question, but your outcome is only at this level. So what is the level? It is fully addressing. It is going above that. If it goes above that only, you can give strongly addressing. So no issues like that. So this is how, just to make you familiar with whether the outcome is going above that, or if it outcome is going above that, you can give shortly addressing full weightage of 3. So this is what you can. The strength is the scale. The strength has been shown here. So this is the activity which has been related to this one. Don't suppose if you have got access. I only say that if you have got access for the LMS, definitely don't miss the opportunity, because there are a lot of things which has been showcased there. There are also take it an opportunity to go if you get time, because even after the completion of this, probably 2 days is there for the sections, and after that this online sections will be concluding, but the LMS access will be there for you for some more time. Get that opportunity, go through that content, because all these contents are, is well prepared only. It's not because we prepared it. It's prepared with a lot of references, especially from the authentic materials. You can go through these the different the manual, the format of manual, a small OB calculating engine which has been done in Excel. A lot of things are there, so make that advantage of that. And also try to pose some questions in the forums are there. So that is something. What are the innovative practices that you do? You can post create a forum and interact like that. So and also you can work with the different faculties there. So different faculties will be publishing their CEOs. So you can just make a reference like that. So all these things will make the things real. So make an opportunity to use it at the maximum hand. So don't think that if I get only this LMS access, I can download the certificates. That is there. That's important. Don't say that it is not important. It's important, and more important is that avail that opportunity and make the better learning. So I think that's all for this segment. As I've told that I'll be concluding this section a little early. I don't put you up to 9 o'clock. And okay, if you have got some queries, now the platform is open for any. If you have any doubts there, and also if you have any doubts while you're working through, you can post it in the forum. Probably we'll be visiting the forum when we get time, and we'll be posting our views. And also the other participants who are your peers who are working in the same lines, they can also come and interact. Obviously, learning happens when we collaborate in a better way. So there are a lot of possibilities out there. So make the best use of it. So that's all for today's segment. I'm stopping this presentation, and I'm giving. Sijan, over to you. If there is any queries to be answered, then we can have.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I think there is a question out here. When you were presenting, there is one question that is being asked. Most of POSO attainment is on semester system. Our pattern is 3 sessional exam in medical. So, is there some insight on this? So, I think they are having a 3 sessions exam system. Does this affect the POCO and PSO attainment? Sunil sir, did you hear that question? Sir, I think you're on mute.
Sorry.
All right. Okay.
Okay. Sorry again. A lot of confusions are going. Okay. Actually, I have read the question. The PO and PSOs are not formulated course-wise. They are formulated at the program wise, what the students are capable of doing on completion of the program only. So there will be only one set of PO and PSOs for the entire program. Probably about 10 POs and 4 PSOs like that. There won't be separate PO and PSOs for the semester. So the thing is that every courses will be having their the course related COs only. So on completion of the semester, that course related COs will be calculated and it will be kept apart. The second semester, that course related COs will be calculated and will be kept apart. And after completion of the entire courses, completion of the entire semesters, all the COs will be calculated. And now the time has been ripe to calculate the PU and PSOs. But it could be, but there are some softwares which shows that after completing of that COs, the PO at that point of will be calculated. That is only to just give you an indication whether the the PO attainment is going in the right way. So that is also a good practice. But the thing is that the final calculation could be done only on completion of the entire courses. Okay, that's it. So I think I have answered.
There is a question from Rangarao. He's asking, why do you provide value? Is that a -1 or 1 mapping?
One.
0, 1?
Yeah, that's a standardized scale because we can categorize the mapping strength into 3 or even 4. That is either not related, or it is feebly related, or it is moderately related, or significantly related. If it is strongly related, we give it 3. So that is a standardized scale which is given by NBA, and we are adopting that. And if you are more particular that if you need some other scale to have some granular or more detailed assessment, you can increase the number and give a better scale. Suppose you can give a 10-point scale. Obviously, what make it 1, what make it 2, what make it 3, and what make it 10, you have to give criteria. So this will be very simple criteria which has been given by the NBA as well as adopted by NAC. So that could be very easy. If it is high, medium, and low, you will be able to write. So it's on that logic only. Okay.
There is a question again from Rangarao. Can you tell me about more indirect assessment?
Obviously, tomorrow this Mendes will be giving you for the entire topology of assessment. But since you have posed the question at this point of time, I'll just say that the direct assessments are the assessment that you are doing as a part of the course. And indirect assessments are that you are asking the students to make their own self-evaluation, or from a third party to make an evaluation about their performance, or from the peers to make the evaluation of the performance. So all the assessment which has been directly done from the college part, we can say it as the direct one. That is the examinations, the assessments, seminars, etc. So actually the indirect assessments are after completion of every course. After completion of every course, you can give them a survey and say that to what extent that you feel that you have attained the CO. So they will be giving some rating. And that indirect assessment and the direct assessment related to the CO should be clubbed together to form the CO level attainment. Likewise, every course could be done in that way, direct and indirect combination. And after getting the entire CO is there, then at the program end, you can give, if you're calculating the POs, you can calculate the direct COs as well as the direct contribution to the PO, which could be calculated from all the COs, as well as indirect by giving them a final course end survey. To what extent you feel that you have attained such and such PO. So that could be integrated together. And it is a normal practice that you take 10% from the self assessment and 90% from the direct that is been directly assessed. So that's it. That's regarding the topology, and Mandasa will be giving you more details about that.
He also says that sometimes we are confusing how to map COs and POs. It is very difficult to predict. How can we trust the
No,
map?
no, that's what the OB is all about, bringing clarity to the things. That's what we want to factorize the PO, not by a single term. What does it really mean? You have to factorize it into subcompetencies, and each CO you have to check it out with the POs, and you have to identify what percentage of the subcompetencies are spanned by each CO. On the basis of that percentage, you will be able to map. So at the initial stages, you may find it little difficult, but when you go along with when the mapping becomes user friendly, you'll find it much easier. So no issues. Initially, it will be difficult. You can go on comfortably.
How can we trust this mapping mapping CO mapping with POS?
That is a question that how can you trust yourself? That's all about if because we have to be confident about ourselves, about the area that we are happy, that we are handling. So if we have got trust on ourselves, we can definitely trust on the mapping also. So that that's what I can. Okay.
All right. Okay. All of you, don't forget to do the task based on this in the LMS. Is there on day 4. So please try and do that task related to this in the LMS. Okay. If you have any questions regarding the LMS, please send your queries to this number and we will pick it up. We will be having session tomorrow as well. Mendesa will be taking the session tomorrow at 7 p.m. So please join it for that. So it will be a continuation to this topics as well. So please don't miss it.
So I think there is no. I'm just checking out my mobile also whether any
Yeah,
questions
I'm
come.
also checking if there is any question.
Yeah. So I think there is no much questions at this point of time.
Yeah.
But obviously, you can have some when you are going with some live activity or task. Obviously,
Yeah.
we can collaborate. There is a big community working behind it. So I personally also will be sitting these LMS, and most of your colleagues will also be visiting and posting their opinion, their experiences. That makes the learning very, very rich. So no issues if you don't find it any difficulty at this point of time while going with LMS. If you're finding any difficulty, you can make the forum very active, dynamic. That will make the learning more and more effective. And don't forget to go through this materials which has been showcased there. It's all very rich. You can make the maximum utilization of that. So anyhow, I think 3 days. I really enjoyed working on sharing my thoughts with you, and also sorry because in the initial stages there were some connectivity issues, and it got fixed. Anyhow, sorry for that interruption at the first stage, and everything has gone good after that. So thank you for the 3 days of attending to the section so patiently, and I really enjoyed, and hope you also got some benefit out of this. So, shall stop
Yeah.
now.
All right. Okay. We have 2 more days of.
Thank you, and have a good day.
Yeah, we will be having 2 more days of sessions tomorrow and day after. So please join in for that as well. We'll be having sessions from Mendesa. Please join in on the more topics on OBE and related higher topics. Okay, so please join in for that. Yeah, we will end for today. You can also post the questions in the forum in the LMS. Those who like to get the access to LMS, I will post the details to that here now again.
Okay, thank you all.
Yeah, all right, Sunil sir. Thank you for that very informative session. Yes, I think we will end for today. We will join again tomorrow at 7 p.m. See you all then. Have a good evening.